To again for a couple more tips for your dating life. Again, if you have any questions, please send me an email to the link below, to the website below, and I'd be more than happy to help out. I'm doing a little recording inside of my car right now. I was recording outside, and apparently one of the houses is burning down here, so they've got a lot of fire trucks going by, and it's a little bit noisy outside. So let me give you this information before I forget it. It's just right on top of my head right now. So let's get to it. And one of the topics that I'm going to be discussing today, one of the tips that I'm going to be giving today, is how to create a little bit more attraction between you and whoever it is that you're dating. One of the things that you have to be aware about is appearing needy and how to avoid appearing needy. What I mean by that is usually when you exchange numbers, go out on a first date, especially if it was a really, really good date, you might be tempted to text immediately, hey, had a great time, we should do it again, call me, how's your day going, what are you doing, what are you thinking about, anything like that. What you want to do is you want to let him, or you should let him, text you first. Now, why do you want to do that? One of the reasons for that is if he texts you first, then he's letting you know, hey, I'm thinking about you. I want to know about you. And once he texts first, then you have the option of deciding when you want to text back. Now, one of the best tips that I can give you is do not respond immediately. You might ask why. Why should I wait if I'm actually interested? And one of the reasons why I would tell you to just go ahead and wait a little bit longer. I don't mean wait a week. I'm meaning 30 minutes, an hour or two. Why should you do that? And the reason why you want to do that is you want to make him think, well, is she really interested in me? Maybe she's with somebody else. Maybe she's with another guy. Maybe she's just busy, period. Maybe she's at work. Whatever the case may be, you're making him think about you. So again, that's why you don't respond right away. Now, that's tip number one. Okay, so just try to hold off on how long you text back. And this especially holds true if, for instance, you text right away and you ask him a question and he doesn't respond immediately. It might take him 2 to 3 hours before he responds. He sends you a text and then you respond right away, and then again he takes 2 to 3 hours to respond. That could be another issue there, but why don't you do the same? Put the ball in your court. Let him think about you. Let him wondering. Leave him wondering what you're doing. Okay, so tip number one is try not to respond immediately, and then just see how this works out for you. Tip number two. This goes out to the ladies that I've been dating for quite some time, and you might be dating a guy who isn't really showing extreme interest. He might call you every now and then. He might text you every now and then, but only when he has nothing else to do, meaning you're the fallback girl, you're the last resort that he turns to. You might say, well, I don't want to be doing this anymore, so how do I switch things around? The quickest thing that I can think of is just throwing a little bit of a jealousy plot in there. Make him a little bit jealous. Let him think that you have other options. Maybe you do have other options, but he just doesn't know it. So show him that you do. Again, by you doing that, he will spend more time thinking about you, and he will invest more time in you. Well, how do you do that? And again, you want to do this subtly. You don't want to do this directly, because if you do this directly, you'll run into some other problems. So let's do this subtly. Now, how do you do this? The quickest way that I can think of right now is one. Let's say you're at a bar with some friends, and he decides to text you at that time. He sends the following text, such as, "Hey, what are you doing?" Now you can just say, "Oh, I'm here with my girlfriends having some drinks." At which point in time I'll probably say something like, "Well, what are you going to do later? What are you going to do when you're done?" So again, he's going to be setting things up for a little bit later on during the night, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But instead of sending a text like that, what I would suggest is send the following text. Something such as, I'm just here having a drink with a friend of mine. That's it. Having drink with a friend of mine. You have not said whether it's male or female. Next text you send, you don't have to wait for him to reply to that. You can just send the following text, such as, yeah, me and him had a rough day at work, so we just came out to have some drinks. That's it. No names, no nothing. Doesn't you might say, well, but I'm not having a drink with a male friend. That's irrelevant. And I will tell you why. So just send the following text, like I just said. We had a rough day, and me and him are just having a couple of drinks, just out having some fun, and leave it at that. The next thing he will probably say, or most likely say, is, "Who is he?" And in that moment, what you have done is you have created a little bit of jealousy in him, because now he's wondering, who is this guy? Should I be worried? Is she interested in him? And that is all you do. You do not give any names, nothing else. The next text that you send is, hey, listen, I'm busy right now. I'll call you when I get home. And you leave it at that. Okay? You don't say how you met. You don't say any names. Again, you don't want to be giving too many details. You just want to give him enough information to just make him think. And the choice, if you do call him or not, is really up to you. I would suggest not to do that until the next day. Again, just let this creep into his brain. Let this creep into his mind of, you know what? Maybe she is seeing somebody else. But who knows? All you want to do is just create a little bit of a jealousy in him so that he knows that, hey, you do have other options. You don't have to stick around. Okay? For more questions, for more tips, for more answers, please email me to the link below.